Hi, today I'm going to talk about my top 3 favorite fasting books and who I would recommend them for. Hi, my name is Lexi. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am talking about my favorite 3 fasting books, and the reason why I totally recommend reading a fasting book, even if you've been fasting for a long time, is it just gives you that background information, all the research, a comprehensive overview of why we fast, like the health benefits and the weight loss, all of it included. I think that it's really important to kind of delve into the research, and reading a book is a little bit different than watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast. I mean, you can piece all that information together by watching the YouTube videos and listening to podcasts, but I think it's really nice to read a book that just has a broad range of all of the different subtopics in fasting, and includes the research, and it helps to just really strengthen your why. And I think also it can be helpful if you have some naysayers or critics in your life, that you can say, here's a book that you can read. And they can choose whether they read it or not, but I think it can be really helpful just to have that sort of reference to give someone. And I'm going to share my top 3 recommendations, and I think you can't go wrong with any of these, but I'm going to kind of tell you who I would specifically recommend these books might be best for. So I'm going to start with The Obesity Code. Now, this is by Dr. Jason Fung, who is a nephrologist. So he is a kidney doctor, and he has worked with, countless patients who have type 2 diabetes. He has helped them to get off their medication, to reverse their type 2 diabetes, to lose weight, of course, but really amazing results, and he's been doing it for a long time. So this book, actually, the vast majority of it isn't about fasting. It kind of talks a lot about just the obesity epidemic and how we got to where we are, the things that we've tried that have not worked, especially calorie counting, calorie restriction. He talks about why that doesn't work, which is fabulous. We definitely need to hear more of that. And there is a lot of science in there. So I would say that for someone who wants to hear from someone who's in the medical profession, who has a lot of credibility in that area, I think that that's a fantastic choice. Or if you have someone in your life who you think would benefit from reading that, or you just need them to to get off your back and you need to show them the research, there you go. So that's a good one. Also, there's an article that I will link below that it's not a book, but it's an article you can find online. It's the New England Journal of Medicine, and it is an article on fasting and the benefits of fasting that came out in December of 2019. So that may also be helpful to appeal to someone who really needs to hear the science, and needs that kind of credibility from someone in the medical field. But yeah, even though the Obesity Code is very science-based, it's not terribly difficult to read, I would say. Dr. Fung is a great writer. He has a great sense of humor. He's a very relatable person, so it's not super hard to read. You can also listen to any of these books on Audible, on audiobook, so I will have all that linked below as well if you want to check them out. So I definitely recommend that one. It's a great book. Now, the next one is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, not very sciencey at all. This one was written in 2016 by Jen Stevens, Delay Don't Deny. But you know what? This is a classic fasting book. This has helped thousands of people transform their lives. It's just very simple. And Jen is a retired teacher. She does have a PhD in education. She's very good at research and has so much experience with fasting. She's been maintaining an 80-pound weight loss for, I believe, 5 or 6 years now. And she has interacted with thousands and thousands of intermittent fasters. She has her own podcast, which is my favorite, the Intermittent Fasting Stories podcast. And what I love about Jen is just she's so real and down to earth, and she is not dogmatic at all as far as like how you should eat in your eating window. You know, she's kind of like, you do you figure out what works for you and you do that, you know, and just no judgment whatsoever. And I love that. I think it's so important. So I actually highly recommend this for people who do not like to read and, you know, just want a little kind of brief introduction. This is motivating, and it's just like talking to a friend, you know. It's just it makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel like you could do this. I just think that this is it's great. Some of the information is a little bit outdated just because it was written 4 years ago, but I don't think that it's anything that would stop me from recommending this still. I think it's a great book. It's still pretty solid. So yeah, I would recommend that for people who maybe don't like to read and just need something light and a good introduction. Okay, my favorite, last but not least, this is also by Jen Stevens. This is Fast, Feast, Repeat. I read this after Delay Don't Deny. I had been fasting, alternate day fasting already for like 9 months, and I had watched so many YouTube videos and read articles and whatnot. So I really did not expect to get a whole lot out of this book. But I was wrong. It's an amazing book. It is so comprehensive. It just has everything you could want, from inspiration to troubleshooting to testimonials, science and research, and help with mindset and a lot of the psychological roadblocks. I mean, it's just got everything in it. It's amazing. So I listened to Jen talking about this recently on one of her podcasts, and she was saying that her intention with this book was to write something that would stand the test of time. And I think she totally nailed it, because this book, I just can't think of anything that's missing. It's amazing. It's fantastic. So yes, as far as like, if I were to recommend one book out of all 3 of these, it would be this one. But I understand that, you know, people are in different headspaces and have different needs and whatever. So any one of these 3 would be amazing. This is my absolute favorite. There are also books that are great out there that are just kind of people's experiences, sharing their story, and those are really motivating and nice to read as well. I recently read this one, The Fasting Highway by Graham Curry. He has the Fasting Highway podcast, and this was a great book as well. But yeah, so check those books out. If you have read them, please let me know what you thought, or let me know if you've read another one that you would recommend. And I hope you're doing well, and I hope that helps you in some way. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.